Brian David Marshall here, Great Tour Hall of Famer, Bob Marr. We've got 7 rounds in the books, only 19 more rounds to go or so.
Coming into the home stretch for day 1.
Yeah, we have 3 more rounds. We're gonna have some players playing this round to sort of lock up top 8.
Yeah, anybody who's undefeated at this point is effectively playing a win and in. I'm sure there's some scenario where if they won, they could lose and be locked out. But it's
right. A lot of handshaking.
Yeah.
After this round,
you have to hope after that point they can at least get a draw.
Right. So what's our take?
Attention players in the vintage trial.
I mean,
this is your 5-minute.
Again, there's just a lot of blue-red Delver. I was really impressed with Elves last round.
Yeah.
Just very resilient to a deck that's very fast and with a lot of burn, and really go after them setting up their board.
Right. Did you feel like that was? I didn't watch the match. I just had a chance to talk to Stu Summers off camera, and he said, "Yeah, apparently I played pretty badly." He said, I got a text from Drew Levin, and he said, these are the things you could have done. Did you feel like there was a different line he could have taken where that was a winnable matchup for Blue Red Delver?
So he's not even Delver.
Right.
He's just mono red with treasure cruise.
Oh, okay.
Like,
he's just blue red.
Yeah, Eidolons, Goblin Guides.
Okay.
I mean, he's just going at it. I'm sure there's lines he could play to work around things, but it's one of those kind of revisionist things.
Sure.
But yeah, maybe it wasn't perfect. Maybe there were some players that might have seen a different way to go with it. I thought he played pretty well. Like, nothing to be upset about.
Right.
And yeah, there's a lot of matches of Magic that you can go back and watch the tape and say, I can come up with a line where you win this.
Right.
But that might not be necessarily what the correct play, the play that's most likely going to lead to a win.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm sure someone could text him and tell him, these things.
He was like, kind of kicking the dirt, But he's doing. He's still in okay shape here.
Yeah, he's still doing great in the tournament.
Just win a couple matches here, and you're fine. Shake hands in the last round.
One handshake, and you're all set.
Yeah. So I would actually like to see that deck again. Then I did not. I just sort of walked by. I saw red and blue, and turned my attention elsewhere.
Yeah, his only blue cards in the main are 3 Treasure Cruise.
Okay.
Other than that, it's just Boss Live.
Sweet.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's nice to at least see a twist on things.
Right.
The Elves deck is always fun. I mean, it seems like Fork Bolt in the blue-red Delver deck makes a huge difference in the Elves matchup. Even though the Delver decks the ones that we've seen have only had 2 Fork Bolts. Well, they draw them a lot with Brainstorms and Ponders, and they are backbreakers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, we've seen multiple Fork Bolts as Stone Rain.
Mm-hmm.
Dryad Arbor, get your Dryad Arbor, which is just
Great,
you just want to be like, fine, I'm going to go to the dealer tables, look for a new deck, and leave me alone.
Yeah, and then there's also been some interesting decks that we haven't seen.
We have Ad Nauseam still floating just below the surface.
Yeah, floating up towards the top. I was walking through, and I walked past someone in the top 4 or 5 tables who had a gamble and a crop rotation in his graveyard.
Ooh.
And I was like, I have no idea what this is, but I didn't have a chance to hang around and see what was going on.
Right.
So
there was a sneak attack deck. Sneak and show, I assume. Somewhere near the top tables. Very hard to recognize what was going on. Every single card in the deck just fully altered. Just like, fully extended out art. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
I mean, for some people, this is their thing. I mean, this is their event. And some of those decks are just great to watch. I mean, even just from an appreciation point of view, it's just really cool.
Yeah. So what's your... I was talking a little bit with Randy about the idea of... the legacy seems a little more transparent about what people are going to play. People are a little bit more sharing of information. What mood are you in for Vintage tomorrow? Are you just in stone-faced lockdown mode, not telling anyone anything?
Oh no, you'll probably see me with Delvers and Treasure Cruises and things like that. But it actually bothers me. I want to do a bunch of goofy Vault Key stuff. I want Yawgmoth's Will for 14 cards. Play a bunch of draw 7s. Just doesn't there's null rods everywhere, and shops is big out here. Yeah. So I don't want to wade through a sea of lodestone golems and thorns and trinispheres. At this point, I just have to play something straightforward and consistent. And having Ancestral and 4 Treasure Cruises in my vintage deck makes it pretty consistent.
Right.
And
who knows how long you'll be able to do that?
no idea. But at least once. So that's probably what you'll see me on. And actually, the funny thing is I don't even know if that deck really has a good chance of like winning the whole event. But it's so consistent and powerful. Not Yawgmoth's Will powerful. Not like Time Wolf powerful. But it does a lot of great things.
You don't want a Yawgmoth's Will or Treasure Cruise out of your graveyard?
Nothing would make me happier. I'd love to oath up a Grizzlebrand and then just Yawgmoth's Will, just the Vault Key right into play. Like
now you've made me sad because now I realize you're not going to play Oath tomorrow.
No,
and that actually seems wrong to me.
Oh, and see what's funny is Oath I think actually slid to a tier 2 deck in Vintage. There's just a lot of cards that just didn't do enough, and some of like the Gush Young Pyromancer matchups and things, the ones that were playing more broken cards. And I don't know, it just wasn't that great. Now that the format is so full of Delvers and Young Pyromancers and who knows what else.
Right.
Oath is a legitimate choice again. I just don't know that I'm going to go down that path. I might be tempted tonight.
Yeah, you have.
I certainly
have
travel
the audible,
with the cards.
Yeah, you have the audible in you. Okay.
I mean, I love Dark Confidant.
Yeah.
But Oath was my first big win.
Yeah.
So I have no problem audibling to Oath. But I also played Oath in the first trimester in the Vintage Super League and Oath 3.
Okay.
It's a little gun child,
So is there a little bit of bragging rights? Like, are all the VSL players who are playing tomorrow, A, taunting Randy, from inside the schoolyard, and then B, like, kind of like bragging rights about like if one of like where you guys finish relative in this event?
Yeah, if one of the VSL players top 8, I think that'll be like it's just another thing on their resume. Like, some of the VSL players are more pro players than they are vintage players, and some of them are looking to add to their own pedigree. We don't really give Randy too hard of a time because we'd all be tortured if we weren't allowed to play.
Of course, yeah.
If I'm put in that position, no, I don't need to hear it from anybody else. I'll wear it on my sleeve. Everyone will know I'm upset I can't play.
Magic player's not always capable of a lot of empathy, but for not being able to play Magic, it's certainly...
So it's not being able to play Magic and fully recognizing the fact that Vintage Super League would not exist without
Randy. Yeah, no, absolutely.
I mean, gamers aren't the most motivated sort, so it's a big undertaking to get it off the ground, to get the production value where it is, to get the people putting it together, to organize all of it, to just keep up with the social media on it. A lot of us have day jobs. Yeah. So if Randy wasn't the one putting in that effort, it just wouldn't exist.
Yeah. How are you doing in the VSL right now?
Well, I start off 0-5.
Okay.
But I'm back to 3-5 in a 3-way tie for last. However,
is the mythical like X-way tie still alive?
We're drawing live for an 8-way tie for third, a 7-way tie for fourth, multiple ties for playoffs and last. Anything can happen.
Okay.
So, which is lucky for me, because I started off 0-5.
Yeah.
So that's kind of best case scenario for me. But starting off 0-5 and then round 9 being live for top 4.
What did you switch to after playing Oath?
So I played Oath. I was trying to play cards that I was kind of known for playing, and I knew the people I was playing in the second trimester were fully expecting me to play Dark Confidant. They were just convinced. So I decided to push it up to the third trimester, and I just played a shops deck with Metalworker. Metalworker being the card that I got second in World Championships with and locked up Player of the Year. So I think it's a fine shops deck. It's probably not as good as Terra Nova, but it was more fun. There's a bunch of creatures, a bunch of big things happening. It's a little more vintagey.
Yeah.
I mean, against Tom Martell, I got to put out Cthulhu Forge Master, put a Greaves on it, bring out Blightsteel Colossus, put a Greaves on it, and attack him all in one turn. So, I mean, that's always fun.
Yeah.
But
Metalworker is capable of just some disgusting
incredible things. I was actually Williams and I played in that trimester, and we just play tested against each other before our match.
Yeah.
And he was boarding an energy flux in every game. I'd tap my Metalworker, pay for all my artifacts, and he's like, "This isn't how this is supposed to work." But it was a fun deck. And then in the last set, I I just took LSV's deck and threw some Dark Confidence in it in a Trinket Mage to go get top, so I wouldn't die to it.
Sure.
That's about it.
Okay. Just to give you guys, keep you guys updated. I think pairings have gone up. People are sitting down. Feature matches are going to get announced in a couple minutes. We still don't know who they are. Well, Randy's picking them. We have Randy off camera. He's standing by the judge station, waiting by the printer with a catcher's mitt. He's right there like this, and picking out the matches. I think we're going to try to maybe get to ad nauseum on camera.
Possibly, we might watch the matchups of the undefeateds to see who comes through in the winning in. We have a few different options this round.
Maybe a little deck dependent on whether or not we look at the undefeateds.
Yeah.
Maybe a little deck dependent. I know people at home maybe would like to watch something other than.
I think they're all yearning to see a deck with treasure cards.
Yeah. Like, oh, please make a lot of tokens with your young pyromancer just once.
Just once.
Yeah.
I just want to see something delve.
Yeah.
That's all.
I just want to see Scape Shift some more. I want to see Veteran Explorers. I want to see Slaughter Games main deck. Yeah.
You, naming Force of Will. Slaughter Games you for your Force of Wills.
We saw it was the correct play. A little bit later, we saw against the Manaless Dredge player. Saw a player bolt their own true name nemesis.
Competitors, your pairings from round 8 are being roasted.
Why is that the right play?
He got three bridge from belows out of his opponent's graveyard.
John Grudzina against Kevin Jones.
He would absolutely have lost
Table 15.
if he hadn't done that.
Rodrigo against Scott Waldron. Again, that's table 1, John Grudzina versus Kevin Jones.
So table 1 is John Grudzina versus Kevin Jones.
Versus Scott Waldron to the future match agreement.
And Scott Waldron is one of the other features. I didn't hear the fourth player that Scott's playing. Sounds like that's all he knows.
The time is now.
So this is people. These are people playing to
Lock it up.
Lock it up. Yeah. So we are looking at. Oh no, we're looking at. So actually,
Scott Waldron and Rodrigo. Looks like Togores.
Togores,
Okay.
yeah.
So
this is actually X101.
Well, I believe it might be paired up to undefeated. So
Okay.
X0-1
Okay.
and undefeated possibly, or X1.
Okay.
But I believe the ad nauseum player just has a draw.
Okay.
I actually spent a lot of time watching this ad nauseum player during the grinder last night. You don't see a lot of people running ad nauseum in general. Really like his list. He's very clean about playing all of his spells, always keeping track of the mana, the storm count. It's one of those things when you're playing for Infernal Tutors, sometimes you can get locked down in your head of like trying to figure out all the different things. He moves through it very fast, very clean. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, is he one of the players who flew here from Spain?
Yes. So he, at least him and one other player that I saw in the grinder, Jaime came in from Madrid, and Rodrigo lost in the top 4, and Jaime did get the 2 bucks.
Right. So,
Randy, did you say records on these two?
These guys are both 5-1-1.
Oh, 5-1-1. Okay, both of them 5-1-1.
So they're playing to stay alive for top 8 here.
Yeah.
So the back table is Grudzina and Kevin Jones. That's blue-red Delver Mirror.
And basically a warning.
Yeah, and a win it in. So really, there's only 3 players on 21 points. The other player is Ralph Barash at table 2, playing Michael Scheffenanker, and Scheffenanker has a draw, so he's 6-0-1. So lots of nice scrum of players on 18. Yeah, taking a look. Grudzina's playing the,
White, blue, red.
Jeskai Delver or Jeskai Stoneblade. And people are like, look, it's a Delver deck. It's not a. It's like Delver Blade is really what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then Delver Blade, okay. And then Kevin Jones is blue-red Delver. Kevin Jones, I know that Jake Van Lunen's doing text coverage for the Wizards site, and he just did a feature on Kevin Jones.
Should be going up shortly.
Should be going up. Kevin Jones sort of winning in a lot of formats, right? Kevin Jones, standard.
You mentioned the Just Guy deck. He won 2 weeks before the Pro Tour. He won an SCG Open with that.
Okay, won the SCG Open with Just Guy, and won his state championships. Yep. So.
Yeah, and then some other well-known players who just have one loss. Of course, I mean, Reed Duke.
Oh.
Everybody knows who that is. He's still at one loss. David Tipton, who we've seen on camera a couple of times at this point. At one loss. I think we're going to be getting started here shortly.
Joel Lim. You guys did a piece with him.
What's that?
You guys did a video piece with him. Last year's vintage champion, I believe.
Yes, and I believe he might be playing show and tell on this one.
Yeah, sounds about right. Sounds like we're ready to go down to the floor. Let's end it there. Hey everybody, Brian David Marshall here with Bob Maher for round 8 of the Legacy Championships here at Eternal Weekend in Philadelphia. We're watching 2 players here who are on 5-101. Scott Waldron playing Elves, who is against, he is not playing Elves. He is playing, he's playing Blue Red Delver against Rodrigo Togores. Playing Ad Nauseam, so Ant as it's known in the Legacy community.
Right, and not only is he playing Ant, in the Legacy community, he is one of the well-known players of Ant. Even yesterday in the Grinder, people were recognizing his name as one of the posters quite frequently on Ant, on the active Legacy forums.
Okay. Very dark. Yeah. All right, so you see the players going through their pregame motions here. Well, shine a light on there. Get someone over there with their iPhone, put on the flashlight feature. All right.
No, and maybe I have a soft spot in my heart for the combo players. It's always a huge Cadaverous Bloom fan. Always, I don't know, just a fan of doing broken things, whether it's oathing creatures into play or tapping Metal Worker for 14.
Rodrigo's gonna be going first. What do we want to look for from him? Like, what's his ideal opening here?
Well, I mean, ideally, he'd just look for a bunch of rituals. You hit Hellbent and Infernal Tutor for the one Ad Nauseam in his deck, and then he can just keep pushing through until he hits about 5 life, because nothing's going to kill him at that point, and hopefully he has enough cards in his hand to just storm out and win.
What's the earliest you see this deck winning on?
I believe I watched him turn 2 someone in the in the Grinder. There were certainly only 2 lands in play on each side, so I'm going to go with turn 2.
Sure.
But,
I mean, theoretically, it could be turn 2. Yeah. So rituals, infernal, dark rituals, and
Infernal
and Cabal rituals are his.
Yes.
Big Man Accelerators, obviously, has Lion's Eye Diamond. And then he's really just looking to cast Tendrils of Agony with 8 to 10 spells on the stack.
Yeah, with enough to finish it.
So he's going to start off with a Gataxian Probe. Sees a 6-card hand with a pair of Brainstorms, a Delver, and a Young Pyromancer. Yeah, 2 Brainstorms. I'm missing 1 card on the end.
Does he have a probe himself? Or a Treasure Cruise?
Might be a crew. What were the 2 cards, the 2 blue cards all the way at the end? Okay. Alright. So, Gataxian Probe. Draws his card. Land for the turn. It's a shiny fetch land.
And he is also someone who has spent a lot of time making his deck look very impressive.
Yeah, no white borders on that C. goes and gets Underground Sea. Plays Cabal Ritual. He's going to name Brainstorm here, right?
You have to imagine, yep. Oh, there they go.
And just rips that 6-card hand down to a 4-card hand. So land, Delver Secrets from Scott. All right, it's turn 2. You should win now, right?
It's certainly possible. But, I mean, it's also one of those things when you don't have to, why bother?
Yeah. Right, you know what? You don't want to force.
Yeah, and
Okay,
in one of the
turn.
matches I walked past, he just went ritual, tutor for Past in Flames, ritual, tutor for Tendrils, you.
Oh.
Like, just ignore the ad nauseum entirely. So, even when he's in the middle of a game where he's given up too much life to creatures, there's still plenty of ways to get through it. And he at least has the information that there's at least one Force of Will in his opponent's hand.
Right, because he revealed Force of Will to flip over the Delver into Insectile Aberration. No, was that a Brainstorm from Rodrigo?
I believe it was a Ponder.
Yeah. Really sorry, I'm just having a hard time on the reflections on some of the cards here. Draws a card.
Yep, and every turn, it's kind of a few seconds of tanking, figuring out if this is the one, and if he decides whether it is or not, it's your turn.
There's another sweet-looking Underground Sea. It says go. You can hear the mouths of our audience watering as he plays every land, right?
Yeah, every black-bordered Underground Sea. So he's looking at Ritual, Lion's Eye, Duress. So he's really just...
He's just looking for
a tutor.
Yeah.
I mean... yeah, he can be hellbent at any point to fire off his Infernal Tutor for any card. And then sack the Lion's Eye Diamond in response. So that's what he's looking for. He either just wants to draw the ad nauseum or an Infernal Tutor.
And he just has the 4 Infernal Tutors here to go get that.
Yep.
He's down to 11. Young Pyromancer hits the table. He doesn't have a lot of room on his ad nauseum.
No. No, he can't afford to miss a whiff on too many more draw steps. Actually, at this point, if it was Ritual, Lion's Eye Diamond, and a spell... Yeah, it's probably just the Past in Flames version. It's just a bunch of spells, Past in Flames, bunch of spells, tutor again.
Right.
Tendrils you.
But he's still got to fight his way through a Force of Will.
Yeah, but he had Duress in hand.
Oh, okay, there you go.
He chooses not to play the land.
Yep. Drops Rodrigo to 6 from that attack. Another Delver of Secrets.
Well, it's now or never.
Yep.
All
right, top of my deck.
Well, I think he drew the card, which was the reason he didn't play a land. I think he drew a Brainstorm. He just wanted to make sure he had the right cards to put back.
Duress you. We're going to start.
So it begins. And this is interesting. Like, if his hand ends up being like 2 Force of Wills and a blue card, Stress is a real hard time. Oh, he's fingering his land. I wonder if he's debating...
A Brainstorm?
No, whether he's wondering if he should daze it to make him try and Ritual now so he can Force of Will the Ritual before the Duress gets taken out of his hand.
ultimately says, "No, I'm going to let it go."
Yeah, so
We
there is
see-
Days there. Days Force Well Treasure Cruise.
Takes the Force a while. That's one spell for the turn.
Yep.
Says, "May I have a brainstorm, sir?" And
Oh.
gets dazed.
Well, I mean, I believe he'll just ritual in response and pay. Or not.
Just pays with,
Just pays with Volcanic.
yeah. We believe he has. He's holding another land, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, and he's only playing 2 Underground Seas. But he is playing a swamp. He could have gone to get the swamp in theory.
Okay, gets out his dice.
Time to start keeping track.
I also got out my pen and paper. Start storm tracking.
Yeah. So the storm is at 3 from
Oh, that's right.
Duress, Daze,
Yep.
and Brainstorm.
Brainstorm, yeah.
Oh, is that the Past in Flames?
Still resolving what to put back.
Yep. So you'll see him move the cards around, make sure this is the hand that can get it done, think about it for a while, and then just see him move quickly through the process. I'm guessing there is a black land or a lotus petal to get us started, rituals, Lion's Eye Diamond in play, sack in response to the Past in Flames, do it all again. Not exactly sure how we get the tendrils unless he's already got it.
Okay, here's Lotus Petal.
So we're keeping track. There's 3 black. And the storm should be at 5.
Yep.
And now Ritual with Threshold, he's up to 6 black. The storm should be at 6.
Yep. Yeah, he's missing a spell. It's at 7. He's flashback the Past in Flames. Did he just discard the Past in Flames?
Yeah,
to the Lion's Eye Diamond.
to the
That's pretty
Lion's Eye
sweet.
Diamond. That is great. Yep, and the tendrils.
And I win.
He's like, look, I can see your hand. We're picking up these cards.
Pretty sweet.
It's great. It's great. Like, and this guy, I've been watching him yesterday, watching him today. He just does a very good job. I mean, don't get me wrong. There we saw what was in his hand. I mean,
Yeah.
he had to hit.
Yes.
Drew Brainstorm, got
The
the
so-called
pieces.
nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, I mean, a nice play size. You know, like, okay, you know, a lot of people will go crazy, driving themselves crazy, trying to figure out, how do I get this spell, how do I get to play this, and then sack the Lion's Eye Diamond, and it's just like, no.
No, that's what I really like watching. Like, he's cool as ice. Like, if you're watching him live, like, he's not getting flustered, he's not complaining about bad luck, he's not giving away any information, and he just progresses through his turns, just one spell after another. For people, when you're watching combo decks, I mean, sometimes it's just the simple things that are fun to watch. Oh, and this is the other thing I've noticed every time he plays. Every game. Whole sideboard gets shuffled in, comes out one card at a time.
Old school.
Yes, very old school. Just shuffles in the whole 15 and just finds.
Well, to talk about his sideboard, what is he able to do here?
Almost certainly the Carpet of Flowers. I think the Carpet of Flowers is here in particular for this deck. Even just getting the 2 extra mana is great.
Right.
And it's basically a ritual. Like, if you play the first main phase, go into your second main phase and activate it.
Right.
So I think the Carpet of Flowers will come in. I don't know, on Flusterstorm or Abrupt Decay. It might just be the Carpet of Flowers.
Does he have a Burning Wish for the 1 tendrils on the board?
I don't believe so.
No?
No, I think there's the tendrils there just in case there's something you need a second one for.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure if someone's playing like Duresses and Deathrite Shamans, he'll want to bring in a second one just to make sure it doesn't randomly lose him the game.
It's exhausting to shuffle all 15 cards in and go through and pull them out one by one.
It just shows like how well he knows the deck.
Right, because he's able to look at the deck and just go, yeah, this is what my deck is supposed to look like.
He's 5-1-1 in a 10-round tournament, and every game he's shuffling in all 15.
That's good too. I mean, I also it's sort of like, you know, a lot of times if you never touch certain cards in your sideboard, like if they never go into your deck, like those sleeves end up looking a little different. Like, I mean, even just the act of just jamming them in there,
keep it a little more uniform.
They sort of keep up with the wear and tear that your sleeves go through over a 10-round tournament.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just a little operational thing.
Yep. No, for me, I really wanted to get a chance to put this deck on camera because it's one of the few just pure combo decks floating around.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you count Spells and Treasure Cruises.
Delver of Seacrest hosting the Treasure Cruise.
Yes.
As someone said to me on Twitter. Obviously, the axe being Taylor Swift Spear and Young Peasy.
Yep. Young Peasy. Getting it done.
We'll probably start calling that card Young Peasy from now on. All right. Just slide some cards off the top of this deck.
Yeah, it looks like about 7. Spread them out. Yeah, of course it is. Oh, gives the camera a little peek.
And I almost called it that Monastery Swift Spear. Gets in for 1. In theory, you could certainly kill on turn 1 with this deck.
Oh, absolutely. If your hand is just 0 casting cost stuff and rituals, and you can either just draw the ad nauseum or hellbent yourself and tutor for it, yeah, go crazy. I mean, when this deck ad nauseum's at above like 14 life, I mean, it just gets silly.
Oh yes, I'll take that Lion's Eye Diamond, I'll take that Lotus Petal. So on the back table, Kevin Jones, one game closer to locking up a top 8 berth. He dazed Gitaxian Pro.
Well, yeah, seems like a fine choice.
What are you doing? Why are you dazing Gitaxian Pro?
You could be protecting the information that you have Force of Will or the information that you don't.
Right.
You don't know exactly where your opponent's at. I mean, he's playing a combo deck, so you don't know how many lands he's running.
Right.
Like, maybe he just kept the perfect hand with Gitaxian Pro hoping to hit that land. Most importantly, I mean, you're really just protecting information. You also know that he runs therapies. I mean, you've got therapy in game 1.
Right.
Letting someone probe just to get therapy.
Right, just having your hand scalpeled apart.
Alex Mercer, if you are still in the room, please report to the main event stage. Alex Mercer to the main event stage. Thank you.
And then the other issue is, once he goes to probe you, and you tank on it for that long, well, you either don't counter it and show him the daze,
Right.
and it never does anything, or you just daze it.
Ponder action. Is that the storm counter?
Well, it was his prowess.
Aha. So you see, it's a 2/3. Places it on the lower right-hand corner of the Swift Spear. Just like Mitko. It's our new user interface with magic marker dice.
Yes.
Shuffles off the ponder.
Yep.
Gets in for 2.
Oh.
Passes the turn with no second land.
Well, he dazed his first land back into his
Oh,
hand.
yes, you're right. I'm sorry.
The basic swamp. Extended art and foil, of course.
Yeah. I like how the players are just respecting the stifles.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you're doing. I'm not taking any chances. I would hate to be caught with my pants down by the one stifle.
Although you're playing a deck that I knew people would be playing this tournament, there are about 40 different one-ofs that might, 1 or 2 cards that might be in your deck. So.
Yeah. So, brainstorm.
So, looks like he has a lot of decisions. Not really sure what they are.
We had someone in here earlier telling us about fork bolting his own Monastery Swift Spears against Leyline. Like, well, I can't do anything else with it.
Can't target you, so yeah, make these bigger.
All right, it's a 2/3. All right, and
Pithing Needle.
Is that going to name Lion's Eye Diamond?
I would imagine.
What did he name on Pithing Needle?
Yeah, LED.
that? Okay.
Yep. Letting us know with the note as well. And get rid of that. Oh, geez. He's like, oh, pithing needle on line side diamond? Abrupt decay your creature. So not too worried about the pithing needle.
No.
Two cards, not good enough. They go on the bottom.
Again, I guess if he's going off, he knows he can keep that abrupt decay in his yard. And
Yeah. Ooh, cage. Cage is fine. So, that abrupt decay in the yard, not as useful with
No.
Fast and Flames.
Rodrigo is obviously stuck on lands. Remember, Waldron, dazed himself on turn, dazed back his one land on turn one, and he's now, looking at playing a fourth land this turn too.
He has purposely
Rodrigo's
gone
too.
past a number of lands, though. Like, even that preordain, there was at least an Underground Sea in that preordain, and he just put it on the bottom.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, he doesn't have any more lands, but I don't know that he's looking for
Okay.
them either.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. So that's a conscious decision. Delver. Foil ponder, you have to shuffle your hand shuffle it back if there's no foil cards in the top three. You automatically have to shuffle.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a problem in this deck.
There's a delta. Says go. All right. Flips the Delver on a lightning bolt.
Yeah, I mean, the pace is starting to pick up here. He's got cards in hand. Down to 11.
Virtual 8.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, functionally less. Sack land in play, bolt in hand. And okay, like when you're the Delver player and that's how it starts.
Yeah, like, oh really?
Oh, really?
Really? Right now? Okay, Gitaxian Probe. Rodrigo goes down to 9. Shows him 2 bolts, 2 dazes.
Ooh, this is gonna be a tough one. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's just ritual.
He hasn't gotten out the storm counter yet.
No. That is probably somewhat telling.
Okay. Lotus Petal.
Alright, so storm at 2. Storm at 3.
Do you care to daze this? So Cabal Ritual.
Yeah, so we've had Ritual, Cabal Ritual, and Peek at Your Hand this turn, right?
Yeah.
And something else? Oh, and Lotus Petal.
Yeah. Yeah, I got 5 spells is my count.
Yeah, okay.
All right, duress you.
Yes, well, this is where the bolts start to fly. Well, I think there you just put a red in your pool and daze it. Then if he pays, you put a red in your pool again and daze it. And if he pays again, you just bolt him twice.
Just to keep him honest on ad nauseum. If that's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, he knows the daze is there. I don't know what function it's going to serve from this point on. We shall see.
So we're at 7. Seven spells, 8 life.
He's got one more life to give. Never a doubt.
But 1 life to give for my combo.
Yes. Are we recounting the spells here?
No, I think he's... Spell is that?
I believe that's tendrils.
That is the tendrils. There we go.
I just don't believe that the strong count is correct.
But storm counts at 8.
Oh, okay. Shouldn't it be the tendrils plus 8?
No, I think the tendrils was the 8th spell. Yeah. Oh, now in front. He brought in the second tendrils.
Yeah. And you can't do that. So is this the debate of, well, this is a mana ability, well, no, it isn't. I mean, I think he still has 4 floating.
He does, but there's still 1 days, right?
There is indeed still 1 days. And there it goes. As it looks like it is a mana ability, and Pithing Needle the Lion's Eye Diamond.
So, yeah, he was like, nope, certainly no need.
I mean, even without it, it's not. I mean, Daze doesn't stop tendrils.
Right. Right, although you could have stopped, I guess, the... Just bolt him from...
You don't get to kill me. I get to kill me.
Oh, okay. The old mana burn myself during my upkeep. All right. So Rodrigo goes to 6-1-1.
Yep. Just
Playing one more, like, well, no,
2.
he's got to win the next 2. He's already got his loss in his draw.
Yep.
Yeah. Scott Waldron bolts himself for the match win. Hi, welcome back to the booth. Brian David Marshall, Bob Maher. So, you talked about him knowing the deck. I mean, you're like, well, he had an opportunity to blow up that Pithing Needle. He's
Yes.
like, I don't need to.
Yeah. It doesn't actually do anything. Yeah,
It won't matter.
Just having played Magic for a long time, I think there was at some point a point where Lion's Eye Diamond was treated a little differently than the mana sources because you couldn't announce your spell and then use the Lion's Eye to pay for it. So they made it a non-mana ability because you had to discard your hand as part of the cost. But apparently, currently, still a mana ability.
There was also
it's a mana ability that can only be played at instant speed.
Oh, okay. So Randy has let us know. It is a mana ability that can only be played at instant speed.
Yes, yeah.
There
The official text says, yes, this is weird.
I mean, there was also a time where you could get infinite mana in the in-between turns phase. So you know,
Wall of Boom days. Yes.
so there've been some oddball times.
Yeah, certainly.
Any chance of getting Rodrigo to?
I don't know. See if I can.
So yeah, that'd be great. So no, it's just great to watch. I mean, somebody knows their deck well, has been playing it a long time, and I just enjoy watching Storm players like keeping track of everything very well.
Yeah. Kevin Jones, by the way, goes to 8-0, like we said. Just reminding people on the back table. What's that? Oh, okay. All right, sweet. We got a lot of time in this round, so we're gonna chain a couple interviews through here.
Great.
Like I said, also I know there's a text piece with Kevin Jones going up on the coverage.
And now we've seen the deck with Treasure Cruise just go down swiftly. So
let's slide over here. Come on in, Rodrigo.
Hello.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Yeah, we already meet before.
So still alive here, 6-1-1.
bring him in a little bit.
Yeah.
Slide in a little bit
Okay.
more. There we go.
Here I am.
Yeah.
You changed my name. Okay. Yeah. Still alive. I throw away last round because I am stupid. I lost. Ritual. Oh, now I'm going to cast Infernal Tutor. Oh, I am not Hellbent.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a long day.
Yeah.
So we were talking during the match actually about how well you know the deck and how long you've been working on it. So you're sitting there. There's the pithing needle out.
Yeah.
You're just not. You just know that doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know. That's also the reason. I could have win without cracking the lead, just Infernal Tutor, another ritual, but I want to crack the PC needle. So he had learned something new.
Sending him with a little something on his way.
Yeah.
Don't do that again.
So, and I am sure any other guy also learned that PC needle is not really good against. You can name Polluted Delta, and it's like if you sided against Miracles to name Flooded Strand. It's like,
Yeah. And I guess at this point you're not teaching anybody anything that if you do win the next two they can use in the top 8.
yeah,
So-
I would love to.
Yeah. Well, no. Once you have a loss and a draw, I mean, you're not going to hit that guy again once
Yeah.
you beat him.
Yeah.
So
Fatal lessons.
Yeah, it's okay to teach them a couple lessons on the
Yeah.
way.
So why ad nauseum tendrils? What's the appeal for you?
When I started playing in 2004, I saw the TPS deck, and I built it on a budget. Like, I have no lot to allow, Lion's Eye Diamond, and it was really bad. And from there, I started playing Storm, and then Oath in Vintage. I only played Vintage, and then I stopped playing for a few years, and I went after the GP Madrid and Legacy, and I just I have all the Storm cards. I built the Mystical Tutor and Nausean deck, and was really awesome. Then it got banned, the Mystical Tutor. I had only cards to play Belcher. I played Belcher. Then I built Storm sometimes, but I never. It was like I was really unlucky in this tournament. I don't know. I ended up losing games that's like, draw 6 lands straight. Not so cool. And then I played a Sneak and Show, and this I think after this year, after GP Paris, I didn't like the Sneak and Show anymore, and I play Storm. I played it in a few tournaments, and this time things go in the right way. And yeah, since then I have been playing Storm and Nausean and TPS.
How has the blue-red Delver deck with all the treasure cruises affected your deck?
I think nothing. Usually Treasure Cruise, you can raise it because they don't want to put out 3 lands and pay 3 and remove cards so they don't want to tap. And usually you are, if they get to resolve it, just paying 1 mana, then you are okay, good game. But I've my opponents today only resolved Treasure Cruise when I was already dead also not to this field, but I was low on resources, he has too many counters, or so usually it doesn't affect me. I draw against an expert player who played 7 Delph cards, but he just had I think 4 Jaces and 2 Stoneforge, 1 Battle Skull to kill me, so the game was really, really long until I was dead, and we got a draw. And yeah, he has like just only a permission deck, and yeah, when I have card advantage and draw cards and have 7 counters, you're gonna die some die. But and against him I got a draw, and yeah, that's it. Something else?
So last night in the tournament for the buys, you made top 8.
Yeah, I made top 4, lost against an elf player. It's usually a favorable matchup, but like it was like Durus turn 2 his surgical extraction, and I can go off the next turn only if he doesn't draw Cabal Therapy. He draws Cabal Therapy, discards my Infernal Tutor, I never draw another one, and that was it. Happens.
Yeah.
So now you flew here from Spain for just this tournament, for this weekend?
Yeah, we went here Friday of the last week, and then we was on the Star City Worcester, and then from there on Monday we was sightseeing Boston. Then the next day we went to DC. On the next day we visited DC. Then the next day we came here, and then we are here in Philly. So
then going home Monday?
Yeah, on Monday we have to drive all the way back to Boston on Monday morning, and yeah, but I am not driving. So
have you made plans already for like getting 2 big pieces of artwork through customs?
No, I hope someone buys it from me.
Good problems to have. Yeah.
Also, if I get them, no one wants to buy it, but I think someone is going.
I think if your goal is to sell it, you'll find a few people willing to talk.
Yeah. So it's definitely a seller's market on that.
Yeah. No, those have been very popular pieces over the years, and both the cradle and the pearl look really nice this
I don't
year.
really like the artwork on the pearl really much. The cradle is fine, but
5 minutes left in the round for the vintage
the
draw.
pearl.
You're hurting your market.
Yeah.
You're hurting your market.
Yeah. No,
it's gorgeous.
The Mox Pearl, it's only there to cast the colorless mana of Time Walk. It's only there for this. So
It's fair.
Okay. So you're all set for vintage tomorrow as well?
yeah, I'm also playing tomorrow vintage. Also combo, but not Storm.
Okay.
I stopped playing when Mental Misstep and Flusterstorm came out. It's not really nice to face this.
So what is the legacy community like for you in Madrid?
In Madrid, we are usually in my city. There are like 80 players, and we have 1 monthly league. There lately is going down because Madrid is like the city in the world with the most magic shops. So lots of players of them have moved away. They don't go to the monthly tournament because it costs 15 euros. And they play like 8 mans in his locals, and so we have gone down to 40 people more or less. We have been like 100 years ago, and they play, and they usually is a lot of blue.
Yeah.
So all my friends, everyone plays blue. So I play blue, but they play control. They play Miraculous, Blade, and so at least against control decks I have played a lot of games. So then no one plays Delver from my friends, so I go there, Delver, let's see what happens.
So let me ask you, the title, Legacy Champion, versus whatever financial remuneration you might get from selling the artwork, which is more important to you?
I like the money, but getting titles is good. Also I have I play Yu-Gi-Oh! Apart. And that's the game I play seriously. So I have won European Championship at GP, played 5-time Worlds. So I'm most a Yu-Gi player just in my city. Lately they are not more local, so I play more Magic, and that's I like the titles.
Okay.
Being champion is always better as being second at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Fortunately, if you get it, you get both.
Yeah.
Fortunately, you don't have to make that decision when you're in the finals. So, all right, I think we're gonna let you get back out.
Okay.
You have some friends who've been milling around. Want to congratulate you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye.
And I think we have Kevin Jones. Yeah. Oh, okay. Bring Randy in while we see if Kevin Jones is around.
Oh, Kevin Jones.
What we're looking for him. We may have lost him.
May have lost him. I may have sent him away because I knew you had Rodrigo.
Oh, okay.
I may not have gotten the message, but I have some updates for you.
Okay.
Great.
Fire away.
Reed Duke has a second loss now.
Oh no.
So Reed Duke has been knocked out. He ran into Zach Dobbin, who's playing Leyline of the Void, Helm of Obedience, and just both games helmed him out.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was funny. I walked over to try to figure out who won, and I see the life totals, and it just stops at like 12 to 13. And I'm trying to figure out what happened. I figure out that the guy Zach's life total at 12 had gone down in twos. It was Ancient Tomb, Ancient Tomb, Ancient Tomb, Ancient Tomb, game over. Like Reed never damaged him. Like Reed can't deal 12 with his miracle stack, right? It would have been going lower. I was pretty sure, and then I had somebody confirm. Yeah, so beat him 2-0 in fact. Christopher Hine is also playing kind of an interesting deck. He took out Ross Merriam. So Ross Merriam now has a second loss because Christopher Hine beat him with a sort of teched out Death and Taxes deck, including sideboard Chalice of the Void.
That is going to be a big card in this tournament.
I think so.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, the other cool deck that I saw out there, I forget the guy's first name, but Edelstein is playing lands, I'm pretty sure. Like Tabernacles and Mishra's Factories, and just it was like there's 6 months amazing deck taking over Legacy, still running around. All right, looks like we got
So meanwhile, somewhere Rashad Miller's like hat spun around because someone's playing lands.
I'll get out of your way.
All right, thanks a lot. All right, bringing in Kevin Jones, our as far as we know, our first 8-0. Come on, possibly our only 8-0. How you doing?
Good, man. Not bad. Good day so far.
Yeah.
Vintage trial.
About as good as it gets.
Yeah, you can say that.
Worth the 2-hour drive?
Oh, yeah, we got here like 4 in the morning. I got like an hour and 20 minutes of sleep. It's like your standard nightmare tournament, except everything's just going right. So, hey, fingers crossed, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're locked for top 8 now.
Should be if I don't get pair down or
Sure.
what have you. But I'm pretty sure it's a small 10. 4 something is a small 10.
Yeah, yeah.
So should be able to just draw and
Yeah, the absurdity of a
get some
small
sleep.
10.
Yeah.
Well, I'm used to like 10-round Star City Open almost every weekend. So yeah.
So, what are you looking for? What's your dream path through the top 8?
Well, as long as I don't play against elves, it seems like I generally play a lot of, standard, occasional modern, whatever. Like, I play Legacy, I play Legacy on the Star City circuit or the occasional, like, duel for duels, that type of thing. But I'm not a hardened Legacy player like a lot of these guys are. And I just feel like I have a lot of inexperience playing against the really flexible combo decks like elves. And I'll try to push the tempo too hard, and then I'll lose because they have, like, 6 cards in hand, but they're at, like, 5, and then I just press the panic button and counter like whatever they do. I'm like, oh no, I can't die. And then, so like I've lost a lot of games like the turn before I'm gonna kill elves, they kill me. It's happened like with Blue Red Delver a few times, and it's happened with like Shardless Bug too.
Okay.
It's like really frustrating with some of the decks I played against elves. But I definitely like all the other fair decks. I played the Deathblade matchup and it just felt like amazing. It's Price of Progress in my sideboard. You just can't win like with all the card draw and everything. It just seems like the blue-red deck is the best Treasure Cruise deck because it has such an insanely high velocity. Like I see like 40 cards, 30 to 40 cards in a lot of the games I've been playing, and like I have like this thickest stack over here of everything I exiled, and like.
And all your creatures reward you for playing all those spells that help you dig through your deck.
Exactly. So, like, generally you'd think that, like, the blue tempo decks want to leave up mana. That's how, like, a blue tempo deck, you're taught to understand them. They leave up mana, they spell pierce this, they brainstorm this, they wait for you to react, or they wait for you and then react. But, like, you actually just, like, play a threat like a Pyromancer or a Swift Spear, and you just cantrip really aggressively on your main phase, and it snowballs into an advantage to that creature, and then you just let them go and do whatever, and then draw a bunch of cards with Treasure Cruise, and it's just like the sequencing is a little tough, but basically it's pretty self-explanatory. If you've played a few tournaments, this is like my 4th tournament with the deck, so I wouldn't want to run it ice cold, but
sure,
it's been good.
Yeah.
It's been good.
Well, especially now that other people are running it. Do you feel like because you've been running it for so long that you're advantaged in the mirror? Do you feel like you have an edge in the mirror match?
I happen to have some friends that are very good at Legacy, and I'm playing a main deck Pyroblast for the reason that we identified how good Treasure Cruise is and how important it's going to be be able to beat the mirror. So an extra Pyroblast allows you to beat the mirror, and sometimes you can, it helps you. It's like having a force that doesn't, put you down a card, so you can like slam the door against like somebody who's trying to ponder into an answer on the last turn or whatever, like another token, etc. But like it's definitely cool to have quasi 5 Treasure Cruises. Like you can answer theirs. So
Attention,
it's like an extra one almost. But yeah, I think that definitely my experience helped me with the mirror I played, because like we played like maybe 10 games in like in between rounds, my friend and I today, and I was learning that like all your cards are way better when you're coming from behind, because like then you know what to look for with your ponder. Like if you like you land the first Pyromancer and then like you play the probe and get a token, or play a ponder and get a token, but like you don't know what to keep. Like sometimes you need lands because you can do 2 things at once, and sometimes you need like to keep spells so that you keep going with Pyromancer. But then like they know exactly what they need to keep because they know exactly what they're looking at. So like it's not that bad if you get behind in the mirror. You can always like weather the storm and like just try to run them out of cards, find crews and force their crews, etc., etc.
And the 2 people to work.
What is? Just tell us. What does you draw your 7 against an unknown opponent on the play? What does your ideal hand look like? Not necessarily just the nuttiest draw, but like what's a really solid, keepable hand for this deck?
Basically, 2 lands is like the sweet spot, because like last match, I'll try not to get too much on a tangent, but last match I played against. I had seen, he was sitting next to me earlier, and I knew he was playing Stoneforge Mystic, and I figured he was on a Blue-Red Red Delver. So I knew he was playing Blue-Red Red Delver, or a Delver deck, a Stoneforge Wasteland deck, and I had like Volcanic, Delver, Swift Spear, Ponder, Force, like only 1 land, and like I led with Ponder to make sure I had a second land, because if like I play the Delver and he just goes like, oh, but he has no lands, Wasteland you, like. And that's exactly what he did, and like I had the second land, and he was able to like just hang on, just got enough lands. But like it was really scary. 2 lands is a sweet spot. You don't want 1 land, because then like your cantrips have to go and get things that aren't velocity, things that are lands or whatever, just to maintain parity, just to play spells. So like you always want you ideally want a threat, a cantrip, 2 lands, either a counter spell or a bolt, because like there's so many things. Obviously the bolt is just so powerful. It just hits like all the things that make what you're doing bad, like the things like Deathrite Shaman lets you do 2 things at once, or like Stoneforge Mystic, which makes you like react to them and do a whole bunch of stuff. It's really good to have a removal spell, and it's really good to have a cantrip so that you can figure out once the Gitaxian Probe is like borderline cheating. It's like one of the best. It just lets you sequence everything so easily, and like the information is like so key in Legacy, because you know what to keep with your brainstorms and your ponders and stuff. So yeah, probe, a couple lands, maybe a bolt, maybe a threat. Yeah.
All right.
It's funny to hear Gitaxian Probe borderline cheating. But, I mean,
I've heard some people who I respect the opinions of say that it is one of the best cards in Legacy.
Trial players, your pairings and standings are going.
I've seen people play like 56 card elves with 4 Gitaxian Probes. So like, obviously the information is so good that people are doing it like off color and stuff.
And it makes your deck. There's a reason. There's a reason they restrict. Give you a minimum number of cards to play with. So.
I kept 0 lands, Grafdigger's Cage, Gitaxian Probe, after winning game 1 against Manaless Dredge. I just like probed him, just missed and said go, and he dredged some things, and then like I drew a cage 2 turns, or drew a land 2 turns later, and played the cage and won. Like after missing a land drop for like 2 turns, maybe 3 turns. But like,
was that Sullivan Brophy?
No, it was he was Finnish, Scandinavian.
Okay.
He top 8'd the Legacy Open a few weeks ago in New Jersey.
Okay.
Yuha was his name. He was very good at Manless Dredge, but can't beat Cage.
The turn 1 kill on turn 3 with the Cage.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, we're gonna let you get back out there. You got some more hands to shake the next 2 rounds.
Great talking to you guys. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Great job. Sliding back in, Randy.
Happy to.
Okay.
Attention Magic players.
It sounds like we're getting ready here.
Yeah, I just watched awesome. I mean, you've been trying to avoid the blue-red Delver mirror, but it's actually a pretty interesting match.
It's very interesting.
Yes, very much so. But I think you might get plenty of it in the top 8.
Yeah, fair. All right, so Ralph on table 2, Ralph Betesh versus Michael Scheffenacher. I mean, they're just like, it went to extra turns. Both games are super tight, like 1 life to 2 life. Scheffenacher got there at the end, so that means that Kevin is the only 8-0.
Oh wow!
Because that was 7-0 versus a 6-0-1.
So he will get pared down. So
he will get paired down. He won't get a draw this round.
There is some drama for him.
Although
if he loses,
I mean, I think if he loses, he'll be the best X2 on tiebreakers. I would think an X2 gets in. I mean, we'll see.
Right.
But I mean, there's a bunch of draws floating around, kind of sucking points out of the system. I mean, I would feel pretty locked if I was Kevin Jones. And the thing is, even if he loses this next round, where I believe he'll be forced to play, odds of getting a draw in the last round are really high.
They're really high. And also, even as you look at it, I mean, we only have 16 matches. What, above X and 2?
Yeah, table 16 is another X11 versus X11.
Yeah, so I would feel pretty comfortable in his position.
Same.
Yeah, no, the blue-red mirror is not something, I mean, it's been fun. We watched a great, I think, or did we watch the great blue-red mirror match with the
I've seen a couple that are really good.
Yeah, Swift Spear on Swift Spear at the end, going down to extra turns.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, no, I think the match is, I mean, it's like 2 heavyweights just trying to knock each other out. There's not much defense in that matchup. It's just, uppercuts, hooks, overhand rights.
How are we doing on time in the round?
They're in extra turns.
As a further reminder, at this point, I would like to remind you that you
can. But now we're getting down to those nitty-gritty rounds where matches tend to go maybe just a few minutes longer. You take 30 seconds more on your decisions. The weight is really starting to bear down on you.
The weight, the time of day. I mean, a lot of people were here at 9 a.m. We're rolling up to 9 p.m.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have talked about it either. I know that we announced earlier that the top 8 is happening in the morning. There is some thought of trying to squeeze the quarterfinals in tonight. So I think it's one of these, like, if it's 11:30, whatever, go home, show up at 8 a.m. But I mean, if the Swiss ends and it's still it's still not 11 o'clock, I think we'll try to get the quarterfinals in tonight so that we go semis and finals in the morning. Just makes tomorrow sets tomorrow up a lot better.
It does set tomorrow up a lot better, and I actually think there's a lot of players who, I mean, barring playing in the finals, would be disappointed not playing in the vintage.
No, even if you are playing in the vintage finals, they need to find a way. Those guys should get to play in the. Even if you're in the legacy finals, you still get to play the vintage event, especially guys who flew across the ocean to get here.
Top 8 of legacy championships gives you 2 buys.
Absolutely.
I'd certainly be fine with a buy or 2.
Buys. You totally get those players. I mean, there are buys in the event. They ran a grinder.
Right.
Yeah,
those
you could win a
players just
grinder.
get buys until they're done.
Yep.
But still, I mean, run the quarters tonight if you can.
Yeah.
Yep.
I assume that's what they'll do, is just get buys to those.
Yeah, I think that was Nick's intention.
Yeah.
And I think perhaps in the game of telephone, as you communicate, it got a little lost by the time it made it to the microphone.
Sure.
So I sense that we're going to play the quarterfinals tonight.
I think it's going to depend on the time, but what is it? It's only 20 minutes to 9 right now?
Yes.
20 minutes to 10, 20 minutes to 11. Yeah, I think we will too.
Yeah. Great. We'll probably get like 2 of those matches on camera or something like that if we do that.
Right.
Should be great.
Also means they don't have to leave table space. They get a PTQ starting in the morning.
Right.
There's only 2 matches. It's only room for 2 of them in the feature match area. The logistics get easier if you run the quarters tonight too.
So last year's vintage champion Joel Lim.
Oh, he's still in it?
Still alive. I mean,
I saw a bunch of the results.
He needs to win and draw. No, win and. Yeah.
Yeah, win draw.
Win and draw.
Assuming
he won.
You don't know how he did in round 8.
Tipton's still going.
Yeah, Reed lost and Ross Merriam lost in terms of the big names.
Wow.
Dave Shields is still in it.
Dave Shields still alive. Yeah, and then we just saw Rodrigo win here, so interesting.
Yeah, I was walking down the top tables. I was happy that it wasn't all Delver. I mean, definitely, like I saw the Lands deck, saw some White Weenie. I mean, Death and Taxes.
Who do we think had the land deck there?
Edelstein.
Edelstein, okay.
Who's picking feature matches? Here's my names for you. That's why I was getting the names. Edelstein, Dobbin, and Hine. None of those guys are on Delver. They're all in interesting decks we have not seen on camera
Oh,
yet.
yeah, so Edelstein was... And you said he won this round?
Yes.
Okay.
Edelstein's the Lands guy. No, he was still playing last I saw.
Okay.
I actually don't know. He could have drawn for all I know.
Right.
He was still playing when
we can easily put that on the back table of the feature match.
Yeah, Josh
if it's
Edelstein
Lands.
is the guy's name.
Not the most expedient of... there's no turn one wins.
Yeah, you want another crazy update? Jordan Berkowitz is 5-0 in the Grand Prix trial.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I saw
a blast from the past.
Yeah, I saw a rubbery face kind of poke its way through here a little while ago, and I'm like, hey, and he's like, oh, he hasn't played in a while. He doesn't know people stream Magic. I don't know. He starts talking to me. I'm like, no, Jordan, we're on the air. Go away.
Yeah, 10 years ago, he was in the Pro Tour top 8 in Venice. The one that Osip Lebedovich won. Yeah, no, he apparently Khan's brought him back. He's learning one set. He's like, he has no idea what's going on today in the Legacy event. Like, they used to call it 1.5, Jordan. It's like, that was never a real format. It kind of grew, stuck around, still going. Anyway, yeah, he's learning Khans. He's loving Khans. So he's playing the PTQ tomorrow. So he showed up today to play the GP trial. It's a trial for 2 buys in Baltimore. And so the local GP, which is a Khans Limited GP. Yeah, he's just like, all right, Khans look sweet. I'll start with Khans Limited. See how far I get.
Local Philly hero,
absolutely.
Jordan Berkowitz.
Yeah. Oh, it's nice to see some of the old school players back.
I mean, it makes sense. Actually, we saw Neil Reeves at a Pro Tour.
Yeah.
And so as a result, the Neil Reeves voodoo doll, Jordan Berkowitz, has to play Magic as well. Right?
It's fair. Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan definitely looked up to Neil quite a bit when they were both playing on the Pro Tour at the same time, as did most of the people who were younger than Neil at that time, and many of the people who were older than Neil.
Who would stand around and listen anytime he was discussing Limited whatsoever.
Yeah, it depends if there's 40 or 60 cards in the deck. When I have 40 cards in the deck, pretty much everyone in the world is listening. It's like EF hunting.
But even that Hawaii that I think, was it the one that Heezy won? Or one of the Hawaiis. I know Neil was also responsible for a lot of the constructed decks and one of the PT Hawaiis.
Oh, Duke can play, no question about it.
He got a lot of major props from Ari Lax. For his draft strategy.
Absolutely credits Neil
Reeves. At Pro Tour Cons here. He's like, no one's taking Secret Plans, no one takes Trail of Mystery seriously. Force the 5-color morph deck, unless someone gives you a reason not to. And Ari's like, okay.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not that great at Limited. I will listen to him and Chris Fennell, and it worked.
Neil is one of the best Limited. Right? Yeah, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because, so I talk to Neil quite often. He's still a very good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And he just looks through his set list. He's like, pretty sure this is how it's going to be, and he'll play through it. And I know you have the old draft story of Neil just looking at a card and telling you.
I love that story.
This World's in Yokohama.
Awesome
we're drafting, right? Randy's there too. A bunch of people are drafting, and I'm looking through my pack, and I think it's.
I'm not going to remember the name of the card.
Well, I know the card. I know the card. It's Mind Moil. So that's the first Ravnica block. Yeah. And I see Mind Moil. I'm looking through it, and I'm like, there's nothing here. Like that kind of like lazy kind of like whatever. I'm gonna take. And Neil leans over and he's like, dude, Mind Moil's the nuts. And I'm like, all right, I'll take Mind Moil.
Yeah.
Pass. Go on for a little while. I'm like, all right, I got to play Mind Moil. Neil says it's the nuts. I play it. It's pretty good. Yeah. Right? It's really exciting. Paul Sotosante comes over and he watches me and he's like, what's going on there? I'm like, I've never seen him play that card. I'm like, yeah, it's the nuts. It's great. So he starts playing it. Right? He starts playing it, and then
the next day,
I think, and then
Sotosante has drafted it.
And someone else sees it, and it goes on, and then basically it comes back around full circle. Someone's playing the card, crushing someone with Mind Moil, and Neil walks over, looks at it, and he's like, Mind Moil, I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew that card was good.
I mean, it's hard to disregard his suggestions. I mean, when we used to team together, so I mean, we top 4'd a team PT with he and I and Gary Wise, and I mean, just his knowledge of the interactions and things like that. I mean, my job was to remember everybody's deck, during deck building.
Team Rochester, so it's all face up.
Right, Team Rochester. So my job is just making sure, your opponent has 23, 24 playables, he's about 16, 17, giving people the rundown as well. Neil, during the draft, is we're just watching the matchups and signaling back and forth which colors everyone is, and he is just drafting versus matchups. Like
2 Hall of Famers and Neil. Neil's in charge.
Yeah. Oh, and it's not close.
Yeah.
No. He's like, because we'll be talking about cards, and you just know, like when you have to pivot, he knows. Like when the pick orders change, he just knows. It's just natural, and it's kind of wild now. Like, yeah, he's been back at a couple of PTs, but didn't queue at this PT. Yeah. May not see him again.
Yeah.
No, he is one of those people that's switching to the
pre-TQs.
Yeah, the pre-TQs.
Oh, it's a lot more work now for him, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 2 events to go to. Him, he also owns a shop nowadays.
Right.
So, I mean, he can't play the ones in his shop. Right. He has to go around to other people's stores, and making it to 2 events with 2 kids and running your own shop is just tough.
There's some old school PTQs going on this round. We've got an old school PTQ here tomorrow.
Basically, his shot is the team GP coming up, and to be fair,
that's a good shot.
Who's he teaming with?
He is incredible at Team Limited.
Yeah.
I mean, and I've played with a lot of people, and he has to be one of the best partners out there. I would put him and Huey on par as the people that you would want on your team.
Turian's really good too.
He's just not eligible.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, fair enough.
But so his team is himself, Ben Stark, and Chris Fennell.
For Nashville?
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one.
Probably featured during deck building. The inevitable deck building feature with 3 of the guys we would go to for an individual deck building feature.
Yeah. No, that is quite a limited team. Yeah, it was like it was funny. Neil and I were tossing had been talking back in the day. Like we're talking.
By the way, it sounds like they're putting up pairings. I don't know if one of us should be picking feature matches.
That's
you gotta finish your story then.
Yeah.
Oh, so
quickly.
We had been talking about teaming together for a team like me, Neil, and Huey, and then that ended up being the team PT that Huey's team won. And I remember even when he made top 4, he came over and he's like, we know. If you top 4 with the team, like that's your team. And it was always tough. It was always just an idea thing. I mean, because Huey and Matt Lindy, just best friends, are all good friends with Brock Parker. Like Neil and I were good friends with David Williams. We were just trying to figure out, what could we put together. But it was one of those things that it was like this close. And looking back at it, like I would have loved to be lucky enough to be on a Team Limited team with Neil and Huey. I just can't even imagine. Like I just kind of get to sit back at that point. Like you boys let me know what to do.
Tell me if I need to win a match.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Go pick us a good one.
All right.
Do you want this?
So 2 more matches to go here.
Yep.
Before we get to the top 8.
And they have probably the quarters tonight.
We'll see.
Yeah. Lots of good storylines.
Yeah.
Good players, good event. Room's been sort of buzzing all day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I keep hearing announcements, vintage trials, Grand Prix trials.
I keep hearing, all I need is the Sapphire. All I need is an Ancestral. That's what I keep hearing.
No, everyone's scrambling for those last few cards.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I think the thing that's interesting is you could tell who the vintage, kind of, I don't want to say professionals, but you know what I mean? Like the vintage connoisseurs are, because they're looking for I need one more foil Scalding Tarn.
Sure.
Right? They've got it all perfect sleeve, perfect fit sleeve proxy ready, waiting for just I just need one more foil. I have a non-foil if, heaven forbid I had to play that, but I need one more foil. And those are the experts, you know what I mean? They've just they've got their deck done up.
Oh yeah. So it's gonna be fun.
So what were you gonna say? You had a comment about the vintage.
No, I just the follow-up I've heard both times, like all I need is a Sapphire, all I need is the Ancestral, has been, you know what, I think I'll just buy one. I've heard that multiple times. It's such an awesome format. They know they're going to be back a year from now.
Right.
They might get to use it in between.
Right. Well, I mean, that's what happened a lot with the Vintage League, right? In terms of Magic Online, it was kind of people were buzzing about the format. And they're like, everyone was having a great time with Vintage Masters. And yes, some people ground a set of Power just
drafting Vintage Masters.
Some people apparently open Power in their Vintage Masters.
Apparently, it never happened to me.
I do not believe that this actually happens.
I only did 75 drafts.
That's it. Huh?
I did 04 Moxes and Lotus, not one.
Yeah, I think I got a Lion's Eye Diamond and a Mana Crypt. You know, like this is not the power. But you know, but others would, you know, just open one on a regular basis, judging by their Facebook feeds.
A buddy of mine who probably only did a dozen drafts, I bought his second Lotus.
Oh god. Yeah, but then you know, like vintage, you saw people just like, vintage is awesome.
Yeah.
It's on Magic Online. I'm just gonna buy into it.
Yep, lots of people. I mean, pretty much everybody in the Vintage Super League is just bought in. I mean, we had the ability to, you know, Wizards liked the format enough that they were willing to sort of make 4 other accounts available to the celebrities that we wanted to have in the league. And, you know, pretty much everybody said, I just kind of want to buy in anyway. I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
Please take a brief moment.